All right, we are live. Hey, everyone. How are you all doing? I can't remember the last time I did a live stream. Let's see, a few months ago? I can't remember. I'm not even sure why I stopped. I know I was doing the weekly stream for Empty Gate Zen Center at this time, right? Thursday at 12. And then I stopped doing it. Was I traveling? Maybe. Also, I kind of wanted to step back and rethink about live streams and make sure they're serving a clear function. Anyways, let's see who's here in the chat. I'm not surprised. Well, Cesare actually 35 minutes ago, Cesare says, hey there, everyone. Tom's here. Hey, Tom. Good to see you. Good evening from Germany. Cesare is doing something there. Oh, Michael's here. Hey, Michael. How's it going? You were okay. Cesare says you were thinking to change something and traveling, something like that. I do remember that. I went somewhere and kind of rethought about all of this. I think what I wanted to do, first of all, I wanted to bring the live stream on my channel. I'm not sure why. I just felt right. And also maybe have the live stream have more of a purpose. I don't know if that's the right word. Maybe a clear function. Let's see who else is here. Okay, so Cesare. All right, Keith is here. Hey, Keith, good to see you. How are you feeling, Keith? Hope you're feeling better. You probably don't have much to do, right? John's here. Hey, John. John says, hey, you guys. Javier, hey, good to see you. A lot of people I haven't seen in a while. I guess I would see you all at the live stream, right? Adam's here. Hey, Adam. Long time no hear. I haven't heard from you in a while either. Christy's here. I see Christy bop in and out of the comments on my YouTube channel. Christy says, hi, all, and hi, Jason. Cesare, hello, and welcome back, everyone. Hashim is here. Hey, Hashim. How you been doing, Hashim? Seems like it's been a couple months since we talked. Hashim says, hi, Jason and everyone. Keith. All right, so like crap, to be honest, but improving. Yeah, it's not fun. I have to say that. I got really hit hard when it happened to me. I felt like, yeah, I knew it was something because it was pretty intense. Is it Stevan? Did I say that right? Stevan says, hi, good to see you. Oh, yeah. Also, if you haven't already, let us know where you're living. It's always interesting to see that people around the world. So I guess one thing I would like to do is probably brainstorm with people. So some people may be watching the recording of this. So if you're live or if you're watching the recording, what do you think would be helpful in a live stream? I have a lot of ideas on my YouTube channel, as you probably already know. I try many different things, and I kind of just go with engagement, how people are engaging with things. If there's no engagement, I usually will drop off. As you know, I did a lot of different series, I guess. I did a poetry series. What else did I do? There was a few other ones. I can't even remember now. And you know, I just try things. I do have a new playlist on my YouTube channel. I think I labeled it meditation tips and guidance, I believe, because it's something that has been requested quite often. So more of like tips during meditation. For example, I think the next one I will do is sleepiness during meditation. Has anyone experienced that? And what you can do about it? What did I put? I put a couple videos already on that list that fit in that description. So stay tuned for that. The question and answer series, or answering your question series, I'm going to keep doing because I get a lot of questions. And usually I'll put up questions that I hear often over the years. The Everyday Zen series will continue. I got an interesting video for you tomorrow. I'll let you know. I'll tell you about it in a second. Okay. Stefan is from Serbia. Wonderful. Thanks for joining. So Keith, dodged it the whole time, but intense is the right word for sure. For the rest of the folks, I am from Connecticut and practice at the New Haven Zen Center. I known Keith for quite a long time. I can't remember when we met, but it was definitely back in my monk days, living at the Providence Zen Center. Anyways, if you're just joining us, this is just a live stream, I guess celebrating the 800 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I've been growing the channel slowly on purpose. I guess, is that the way to say it? I guess organically is the way to say it. So I haven't been taking, people always message me saying, oh, this is here, I can help you grow your YouTube channel. You can do this, this, and this. I don't feel like that's the right thing for me. So what I'm doing is, again, I'm looking really for engagement, making sure people are getting support in their practice. So before, I think I would just come up with some ideas and just try them out. Now I'm kind of listening to the community and making content based on what I'm hearing. Also suggestions, of course. So yeah, 800. I think we're at, where are we at now? My son always looks at this. 823 subscribers. That's amazing. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. Let's see. So, okay, Keith, we got Christy. The engagement direction for the live stream sounds fabulous. However, if there is no engagement, I think having a backup agenda would be great as well. So here is my current idea. Right now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be streaming every week. I said at the new year, I'm going to do more live streams. I'm not sure if it's going to be weekly. It may. But the live streams, I think, you know, one thing I'm focusing on in 2024 is practice. I do a lot of talking. I just edit my videos. If you notice, there's like a lot of edits, like during my talks. It's because I just start rambling. I don't even know sometimes where I'm going. I just start talking, and they're very long. So I kind of just chop it up. First of all, for it to make sense and that has a clear purpose and direction, but also just to keep it a little simple. And they still seem pretty long to me, actually. So I think that what my idea for the live streams is practice, maybe doing a little bit of practice together. Let me know if that sounds good. Something like 5 or 10 minutes of sitting meditation. Sometimes in the school I teach in, at the Dharma talks, before, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes before we start the talk, we'll sit for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And then we'll give a talk. So that was one idea. And also, Christy, a backup agenda is good. So also just having something to share. So definitely, I love chatting with people because I don't get to do it very often, to be honest. You know, I do the one-on-one sessions with people, so I do get to see people individually. But for online, it's pretty rare that I actually get to chat with you all. So I do enjoy that part of it. But also having something to share, because I come across a lot of interesting stories, interesting teachings, things that are happening in my life or others. So having something to share would be part of the live stream. And that could be anything. It could be a poem, teaching, story, anything like that. Chezzer, 823 to be fair, yes. 823. Luckily, YouTube gets rid of the bots. I've heard this and it's hard to me to fathom it, but sometimes bots subscribe to your channel. Have you heard this? So YouTube's trying to remove those, which is a good thing because engagement is what we're after. And I don't think bots can engage very well. Christy, love the question and answer series. Yeah, I'm enjoying that as well because again, it seems more helpful. It's definitely something I want to spend time doing. There is a lot of engagement in it, so I do enjoy that series as well. Oh, I'm also going to still continue doing the interview series with teachers. A few things about that. First, I got to line up the teachers. I do have a couple lined up. Then we have to find a date to meet, a date and time. Like Hyungaksanim and I, have you seen that? The interview with Hyungaksanim? It took us 6 months to actually get together. And I still didn't get to really dig in deep how I wanted to. He wants to do a part 2. So there's that too. So there's asking the teachers. If people don't know what I'm talking about, I have a series called Exploring Buddhism and Zen. And I'm connecting with other teachers and Buddhist traditions, Zen traditions. I may reach out just to like other meditation teachers, talking about practice, this world, practice and how it relates to everyday life, things like that. So yeah, so finding the teachers who are willing to do it, finding the time to meet that teacher. Then I think what takes the longest out of all of this is the editing. I mean, I guess I could just have a crappy video with both of us on there. But again, I'm trying to create more engagement, and I understand sometimes our attention spans are not very long. So I do a lot of editing where it might be both of us and then the other teacher and then myself and both of us. So it takes a lot of time to edit those videos. And also they're a little bit longer, right? So like with Hyungaksanim, I think we recorded almost 2 hours worth of footage. And I'm trying not to go over an hour for the series. I think usually they're around 40 minutes, maybe 40 minutes to an hour. I am putting like the unedited podcast version on my Patreon. Anybody? Yeah, there's quite a few Patreon people here actually. So thank you for that. So I'm sharing that with the Patreon community, these unedited talks. You know what I didn't do though? I didn't get the unedited talk or discussion with Meru Moroshi. There's some funny stuff that was in there that I wanted to share with you all. I'm not sure why I took it out, but I'm thinking about putting the unedited podcast version in the Patreon community. All right. So Christy says 800 plus. Yeah. It's pretty exciting and for me still mind-blowing actually. We see SS Talks. Hello, Jason. I'm from India. It's nice to have found your YouTube channel. I'm learning. Thank you for saying that. It's good to see you, and I'm glad you're here. Yeah, it's really cool about reading the comments. Now, I made this, I wouldn't say a vow, but I did make the effort, or am making the effort to pretty much answer every question or comment that I get on the YouTube channel. It's starting to be more comments. And now since I have a lot of videos, I believe I have, how many videos do I have now? It was over 250 something. Let me see. See if I can see that here. 264 videos. I mean, that's a lot of videos. So there's comments coming from all over, but I've been really enjoying reading the comments. People from all over the world, and actually younger people too. One person the other day was 16 years old and was finding the videos helpful. And really, that's the whole point of all of this. To be honest, I don't like recording myself. I don't know if you find that hard to believe. It's really hard to edit myself. When I start hearing myself talk, it's like, "Oh, man, really?" So I kinda have to, take myself out of the picture, which is always good, I guess, in everything we do, and just kind of see it as a viewer and kinda connecting with the content like that. Christy, Jason, can you talk more about the online winter retreat? What would that entail? Let's see. I need to know specifically what you're talking about. Um, what online retreat we're talking about here. Because when I think of winter retreat, I'm thinking about in the January, the third week of January, I'll be heading to the Providence Zen Center to lead 1 week of a 3-month retreat. I do it every year, especially since COVID has relaxed a little bit. For some of us, it hasn't. Um, so that's the winter retreat. I do online retreats for the Quantum Online Sangha, and usually that happens once a month. I don't lead every single month because we have other online teachers that we like to get in there into the rotation. And then there's the Heart Kilche. So I just want to see, Christy, are any of those things what you're talking about there? Javier, great series. Love the interview with Hyun Goxinium. Yeah, I did too. Um, yeah, him and I haven't talked in a long time, so it was good to see him. It was good to talk with them. And I've been getting a lot of feedback, actually. There's a few teachers in the school I teach in who saw that video and really appreciated the interview with him. So that was great. I loved it too. That was really interesting. Hopefully a part 2 will come, but again, we got to find a time to meet and then do the editing. Tom, what about the series with normal practitioners? Well, yeah, what was that called? That was called, forgot what that series was called. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. That's interesting, Tom, that you said that, because what I've done is I moved it to the Quantum Online Sangha. Uh, so if some of you know, some of you are in the Quantum Online Sangha, but this is a community of practitioners. Many people are in locations where they have no Zen center or no access to a teacher, or maybe they have some physical condition that doesn't allow them to go to a Zen center, or their life's very complicated and they're not able to make it to the Zen center. So we created this online Sangha. So we have a kind of a community forum where we share things. And I've been doing kind of interviews with the Zen students there. I like how you say normal practitioners compared to abnormal or not normal. But yeah, I think that's something I'll look at again. I wasn't sure really what the engagement was. I enjoy it myself. I love talking to people about practice. Very interested to see how people got into practice and how they are using it in their lives. So for me, it's very interesting. And just as you know, I'm, whoops, what happened there? All right, hold on. Okay, well, that was interesting. I haven't done this live stream in a while. This camera I'm using, the battery died. So anyways, we took care of that problem. All right, so we're back. Karen, someone like you who is so advanced in practice, I need your answers on some question I'm pondering. What is Obama? What is Obama last name? I'm not sure what you're asking there, Karen. John, all you have to do is find normal practitioners, Tom. Okay, got it. Michael, I wonder if one could use an AI to edit a 2-panel chat video. I think you can, but one thing that, every time I do editing, I don't have formal training in editing. I did, well, I guess when I was studying audio engineering, I had to take a video section. It was very brief. So I edit mostly by feel. I don't think about it too much. So that's one thing that AI can't do, as far as I know. Keith, would love to see the unedited version of Madomor Roshi's interview. Yeah, I think I'll put it in podcast form, audio, and I'll put it in the Patreon community. Patreon community is how I do all of this stuff. It's how I do live streams. It's how I'm able to make videos, spend time doing editing, spend time contacting teachers and meeting teachers, meeting with people in one-on-one sessions. Seriously, if it wasn't for Patreon, I wouldn't be here today. I'm still trying to grow it. If you're interested, let me know. Okay, let's see what else is going on in the chat. Tom says to John, an almost impossible test. Yeah, normal practitioners. John is asking about if let's see, Christy meant Heart Kilche. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Phoebe, feels like I'm living through the worst time of my life at the moment. 2023 has brought me 4 miscarriages. I remember you talking about some of those. And one of my dogs died 5 weeks ago. Let's see. How am I reading this? And this morning, my brother unexpectedly passed away. Phoebe, I'm really sorry to hear that. Let me know if you want me to send out a chanting request. I don't know if some of you know, I do chanting requests to the Quantum School of Zen. So this is kind of a large group of people who practice all over the world. And we send out chanting requests for people who have passed, for the people who are grieving, for all of those things. So if you, please reach out if you would like me to do that. You got my email address. Really sorry to hear that. Jijong Bolsa. Let us know if you need any support. If you want to talk on a one-on-one, let me know. I'm available. Most of you know that. You can go to my website, jasonquinnzen.com. I used to have something that would post that, but I can't see it right now. Cesare, bye-bye battery. Yep, that's right. Normal practitioners compared to teachers. Yeah. It's interesting you say that, Tom. When I was in Korea, the people who practiced the hardest, it was the lay women who supported the temple. This is just what I experienced and also what I've heard. So not only they would kind of volunteer at the temple, and mostly sometimes I was cooking for the monastics, cooking for large events, cleaning the temple, helping the temple. And after they were done working all day long, they would go into the meditation hall and they would do like 108 bows. They would do some chanting and do like an hour of sitting every day. it was amazing to see. It was really inspiring. So to me, that's a those are the practitioners. I think teachers sometimes they get a little bit lazy. I know that from experience. So that's why it's good to actually connect with people who practice, because practicing community, we inspire each other. So it doesn't matter if you're a teacher or not a teacher, we get inspiration from people's practice. And that's why starting January, what's the date? John, do you remember the date of Heart Kilche? January 6th? Should check my calendar. I know I'll be there for the opening ceremony. Yeah, January 7th. Okay, January 7th, we'll be starting a 3-month period. We call it Heart Kilche. Kilche is actually a period of time. Actually, it translates to tight Dharma, but it's a period of time for these 3 months where traditionally people would go to a temple and set a 3-month retreat in the winter. And sometimes in the summer, they have a 3-month retreat. But a lot of people weren't able to sit the whole 3 months at the temple, or they could only sit parts, or actually maybe none. So we take this 3 months and take the spirit of this Kilche, this 3-month retreat, and put it into our practice. And for many people, that means doing extra practice on top of what they're already doing, really making a strong effort of bringing practice into their lives. I've said this many times. I hear so many times too. It's like, people have their practice and then their life is over here. So where's the boundary? Where's the division? Why is it separated? So people will take this 3-month period to really make a strong effort and a commitment to practice and practicing in our lives. All right. John is saying Kwansing Bolsa Phoebe. Tom is saying sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's really hard. Yeah, please reach out. We are here. SS Talks. How do you juggle between a family and being a teacher? Do you face any difficulty in switching roles in terms of mental activity? Okay, there's a lot going on there. But looking at this last part, I remember when I did my first 3-month retreat, very intense. I talk a little bit about it in my tomorrow's video, so check it out. But after I got off of that retreat and went back to everyday life, I remember, the retreat was over. I only spent like maybe 2 days in Korea, got on a plane, flew back, and I remember landing in San Francisco and getting off the plane. And everything just seemed so bizarre. The suffering, just seeing people, the suffering was very clear. And I wasn't really sure what to do or how to keep my mind. Right. So looking back at it now, it was clear that I was holding the retreat experience, the schedule, the silence, the simplicity. And as I started doing more 3-month retreats, what I started doing, because it's really what retreats are meant to be, was following the situation. Because if you look at a retreat, you go to sleep, you get up in the morning, you eat breakfast, you got to do your laundry, you got to take a shower, like everything's pretty much the same. We're doing a little more extra sitting meditation. So what I started doing was to follow the situation. That means when the retreat is over, not holding the retreat experience. And that really was helpful because I was able to come out of the retreat and then meet the situation out of the retreat. And really hit me on my solo retreat. I don't know if I did this on purpose, but I did a 90-day solo retreat. And the day I got out of that retreat, I had to go back to the Providence Zen Center for the big Buddha's Enlightenment Day ceremony, where I think over 80 to 100 people were there. So imagine that, right? You're sitting in complete silence for 90 days. And then right when it's over, boom, jumped into large group of people. And also the reason why I had to come back is I had to work. I was the housemaster at the Providence Zen Center. So I had to pick up people, I had to do shopping. There's all these things that I had to do. And even though it seemed drastic or dramatic, this big change, again, because I wasn't holding the retreat experience, that it wasn't much of a problem. So you're mentioning switching roles in terms of mental activity. Really, all we're doing is taking care of this moment. So, what is happening right now? What is my job in the moment? And I guess that would answer the first part of your question. How do you juggle between a family and being a teacher? I don't think there's a difference. The outside form may look different, but the job is still the same. What's happening right now in this moment? What is my job right now in this moment? How can I respond with some clarity? How do I respond with help? So I don't really see much of a difference. Now, if I'm holding any kind of those experiences, yeah, it's a problem. But really, that's what practice helps us with is taking care of the moment. So if we take care of the moment, we're not pulled around by outside form or outside conditions and situations. So that's why I think going to retreats is really important, because we're going into a situation. First, we're refraining from all of our comforts. And that's a technique to help us really focus on practice and meditation. And when we leave the retreat, we don't hold it. I remember one time when I was living at the Providence Zen Center, we would rent space to other groups. And there was a large shaman group that would come and rent space to the Zen Center. Sometimes they would stay for 10 days. So I remember picking up this teacher who was the shaman teacher, and he was talking about the solo retreats that they do. And he also mentioned about not holding the experience, because they do a lot of different practices and I don't want to say experiment, but use a lot of different energy and realms and things like that in their practice. So I said, how do you return when the retreat is over? And I don't know if this is a common thing, but he said, oh yeah, pretty simple. What I do is I drink a lot of alcohol until my mind is blasted. What? That doesn't make sense. And he goes, it completely lets go of this retreat experience, because it's very easy to attach to the simplicity, attach to the silence, right? Because I think a lot of us go to retreats to escape our lives, when actually they're meant to help our lives become clear. But I think you just have to experience it. So I think the more and more that we practice in our meditation practice, when we're doing retreats, and when we're just living our lives, it's really important is not to hold any of those experiences. Because if we do, that's when we get trapped. Does that make sense? Keith, that's really interesting. I sat the first half of Bobby's retreat, And then Buddhist Enlightenment Day, that was Saturday. It was pretty jarring. Good advice about following our situation. Really, that's what retreats are all about. Sometimes we don't want to get up early in the morning, but we do it. We just follow the group. Maybe we don't want to do the chanting, but it's in the schedules. We do the chanting. I think that's really helpful in our lives to really help us become flexible and able to go into different kinds of situations, right? Because what's controlling us is I like this and I don't like that. I want this and I don't want that. This is good and this is bad, right? So we're kind of creating a prison around us. So there's no way we can really respond clearly. There's no way we can follow the situation. So having the retreats, really helps us to let go and just take care of the moment. And it's so helpful in our lives. Anyways, if you're just joining us, welcome to the live stream. This is the celebration of the 800 subscribers to my YouTube channel. Very grateful for you all. Is it Jalen? I'm not sure if I should pronounce that J. Jalen? Jalen. Halen? Jalen sounds. Jalen? Anyways, Hapchan, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Michael, my change to join practice and my life was to get a Buddha statue and put it between my living room and kitchen. The first time I pass it each day, I light incense and do 3 bows. Quick, but it helps. Yeah, I've mentioned this before. I think it's one of my tips. I have a video called 5 meditation tips, something like that, where one of them is having something to remind us of practice, right? So we all know that meditation just means right now, what's happening? What is my job in the moment? And it seems like for some, it's easier to do sitting meditation, but when they go to work or they go to school or meeting family, it's more challenging. And I think a lot of that has to do is we forget about meditation or how to do it, right? Because we get caught up in outside conditions and situations and it pulls us around. So having anything that can remind us of meditation practice, I think is important. I don't have it with me right now, but I usually have a mala that I try to bring with me everywhere I go, especially when I'm driving. But the mala reminds me, it's like it's on, and it's like, oh yeah, practice. Oh yeah, what's happening now? Oh, what is my job? Sometimes lighting incense. Lately, my son has been doing some meditation at night, usually with my wife, Kendra. But on Tuesdays, I sit with him for 10 minutes and we light incense and then do 10 minutes of sitting. And then I read something that we can share together. So if I light that incense at other times, like sometimes I'll light the incense in the morning or sometimes after cooking, things like that. He says he smells it and then boom, he's reminded of the meditation practice. So yeah, anything we can do just to help remind us of the practice right now is very wonderful. So a good tip if anyone's looking for a tip. Thank you, Michael. Javier, Jason, what do you make of the story of Bodhidharma? Do you follow those teachings? I just discovered a story and I'm interested in studying, but not sure if it's good to study. I mean, Bodhidharma has a lot of stories. So I'm not sure what story you're referring to, but I'm not sure if that's that important because the stories of Bodhidharma, the stories of other great Zen teachers throughout time, there's a lot of wonderful Zen teaching out there. I think what's more important when you say follow the teachings is follow the direction that the teachings are pointing to. Don't follow the words. I think if we follow the words, we get into trouble and we create a mess for ourselves and others. So in one of the sutras, the Buddha said that all of the different types of Buddhist teaching are like many different fingers pointing to the moon. We can look at the moon as our enlightened nature or Buddha nature, whatever you would like to call it. But the problem is people are very attached to the finger. Believe me, I pretty much anything I say, like in my videos, someone can say something else. I can, I should make a video of that where I'm kind of like arguing against my own teaching. That sounds interesting. I may do that to make a clear point, right? Because it's not about the words, it's the direction of the teaching that we follow. So sometimes we say, follow the true way. But what is the true way? If you ask 100 people, you might get 100 different answers about what the true way is. So in Buddhism and Zen, the way means taking away our idea about the way, taking our idea away that we have of ourselves, this world, Zen, Buddhism, all of it. So we have the experience of our original nature, which is before thinking. Because your before thinking mind and my before thinking mind are exactly the same. So I think that's what we're following, is what they're pointing to. So we wake up to this enlightened nature. Then what? I think that's really important too. What do we do with this experience? If you look at this world closely, it's not in good shape. I'm not sure if it's ever been in good shape, to be honest. So to me, this is more important to follow. Follow your enlightened nature. And how do you express that in your life from moment to moment? Okay. Cesare, you make 2 videos. Oh yeah, one where you teach and along the side you edit yourself answering. I was thinking about that, doing like it was either a call-in interview or just somebody who can just counter the teaching. It's really hard to talk about any of this stuff. SS Talks, thank you for answering my question. You're welcome. Could you please tell me why we should light incense or do chanting when we can just sit and meditate? I think it's good. I come from a school that has a lot of different forms: bowing meditation, chanting meditation, sitting meditation, walking meditation. We have eating meditation during the retreats, working meditation during the retreats, right? Many different types of meditation. And I think it's very helpful because I think sometimes people get very attached to sitting, or something I hear too is like, oh, I like sitting, but I don't like to chant. So it's our like and dislike mind that creates suffering in this world. Bottom line. So there's one advantage of doing different types of practices is that we show up and do it. Like for me, I always put 108 bows in my practicing schedule. Do I like to do them? No. Now, after I do them, I feel grateful that I did do them. And I did a solo retreat where I was doing 1,000 bows a day. Did I like doing that? No. But I just followed the schedule. And that really helps open our mind up. And again, as we were talking about earlier, helps us follow the situations that arises in our lives. Because a lot of the times we don't want to face the situations that appear in our lives. We want to run away from them. Now, some people sitting is a little too difficult for them because maybe too much energy in their head or maybe uh, very intense emotions and feelings. So sitting still, not possible. I've met many people like this. So maybe doing chanting meditation or bowing meditation helps them direct that energy, put that energy into the practice so their energy becomes balanced. So you might find that too, but people will do different meditation techniques for that purpose. But I think it's good to try things that we are not comfortable with, or maybe that we don't like. And the incense too has a purpose. So we talked about lighting incense to remind us to practice. What is practice? What is happening right now? What is my job? But also, if you notice, if you go to a Zen center, at least the Zen centers I teach in, that you bow towards the altar, you light incense, put it in the incense burner, take 3 steps back and bow. You're making an offering to the Buddha. But there's a meaning behind that because we're not offering to Buddha's not a god or anything like that. It's really pointing to giving and offering to others. All right. So I think that's very important. Anyways, if you're at this live stream, welcome. I'm glad you're all here celebrating the 800 subscribers. Let's see. Dominic, what does practice mean when not sitting in meditation during the day? Any practical tips? Thank you. So right now, in this very moment, what are you doing? The name for that is meditation. People get attached to the form of meditation, mostly sitting meditation. But meditation means how do you keep your mind clear right now in this moment? What is happening? And how do I respond to this moment? So, sitting time, we sit. Eating time, we eat. Talking time, we talk. Driving time, we drive. But most of the time, our mind is not like that. I think I mentioned this in my book where many years ago I saw a comic and it had no words in it. And it had a picture of somebody, a man driving his car. And while he was driving, there was these little thought bubbles. He was thinking of work. Then it showed him at work at the computer, and all he could think about was vacation. Then it showed him on the beach, drinking a margarita, and all he could think about was home. Then it showed him at home, and it looked like his kids were asking for help, and all he can think about was work. Does that sound familiar? Right. So that's not good or bad, but that mind that is separate from this moment only causes dissatisfaction. So meditation means waking up right now in this moment. So yeah, if you're driving a car and you notice your mind go somewhere, you see it. Then you notice your speed limit. You look over your shoulder when you're changing the lane. We call that driving meditation. If somebody's talking to you, your mind starts to drift. That's natural, not a problem. But we notice it. We wake up. Then just listening. We call that listening meditation. All right, so that's most important. So the reason why we do a sitting meditation is to allow our minds to see the moment clearly. When we get up from the meditation cushion, it's the same. How am I keeping my mind right now in this moment? And what is my job? Simple as that. Wojciech, Did I say that right? Anyways, good to see you. It would be really interesting to hear you arguing with your own teaching. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that Desantonin used to give opposite Dharma talks. I think you're right about that. I'm going to do that. Let me write that down. I'll try to remember. But it's a good idea, so I'll try. Michael, in my honest opinion, I'm guessing that's what IMHO means, right? I always found sitting meditation to be very hard, connecting to reality. Wall is white, walking meditation, just doing it and just seeing, or simply taking a moment to take 10 breaths. Yeah. The reason why it seems like it's very hard is because we have strong mind habit. Sometimes we call it karma. I'm going to, yeah, check out my video tomorrow. I talk about all of these things. By the way, my video tomorrow is interesting because it was really pouring outside. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go walk in the rain. So check it out. It was interesting. But I talk a lot about these things. And the video is really about, well, what do you do when you can't let it go, right? Because if you watch my videos, I'm always talking about letting it go. First of all, what does that even mean? But many of the times we're not able to, right? Again, we're just so caught up in the thinking and feeling or what's going around us, we can't control it. So what do you do then? That's coming out tomorrow. John, Shadow Dharma Combat, right? It seems a little, yeah. We'll try it out. We'll see what happens. You know, again, I always go by engagement. We'll see how people respond. But if people want me to do it, I'll do it. Anyways, let's see. So let's kind of recap about the beginning of the year. I will be doing more live streams on this channel, and I think it will be a little more intentional. Like today, I'm just kind of hanging out. We're celebrating the 800 subscribers on my YouTube channel, which is awesome. But I believe I want to do a little more, have a little more intention in the live streams, maybe do a little bit of practice, share some teaching, and then maybe answer questions, something like that. If that sounds good, let me know. Keith, when you hike in the rain here in Connecticut, you see a lot of animals because they're not expecting humans to be there. Yeah, I didn't see anything. It was, yeah, I didn't see anything, man, but I went to an amazing location. I've heard about it. And actually, I asked a hiking community, it's a Bay Area hiking community, about taking walks in the rains, maybe a few months ago. And this place was one of them. And I said, well, if it ever rains, maybe I'll consider walking anyways, because usually I don't. Anyways, any last questions or comments before we go? Again, to recap, I'm going to be continuing the Exploring Buddhism Zen with the teachers. I'll be continuing the Answering Your Questions series. So if you do have any questions about meditation practice, there was a lot here today, you can send me an email. Just go to my website, jasonquinnzen.com. There's a few different ways to get a hold of me. We'll bring it in more live streams. And also I want to be more active in workshops too. So some of you know that we'll be doing a workshop on koans. That's going to be Saturday, December 30th. That's 9 days. Saturday, December 30th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you go to my website, jasonquinnzen.com, you can register for that. It's a free workshop. I would like to do more of workshops, to be honest, in different styles. Somebody mentioned the Platform Sutra. That's something that I really connect with just because of the teacher, Huineng, the sixth ancestor of Zen. So the thing is, you know, as you know, a lot of this takes time. And I'm really trying to grow the Patreon community so we can do all of this 100%. More workshops, more live streams. and also different video series. I told you I created a new playlist on my YouTube channel called Meditation Tips and Guidance. So a lot going on. And again, if it wasn't for you all, I wouldn't be here. All right, I think we have a last question. Could you suggest any tips for having some performance pressure around meditation and being too serious about it? Last question. Thank you again. You're welcome. Yeah, I have a video that I recommend. It's called, I'm going to look it up real quick. I want to leave you with that because there's all right, here we go. 5 essential meditation tips. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Check that out, okay? Because one thing I think that's important is be clear about our intention. If there's issues with performance pressure, that means we're either wanting something out of meditation practice or expecting something out of meditation practice. Another way of saying it is we're grasping after something, and the Buddha already made it very clear, is the grasping causes suffering. Okay? It also has to do with the seriousness of it too. I went through all of this, believe me. So it's something that I think that occurs in all of us. So I think if you check out these tips, it will be very helpful for you. Okay. And again, if you want me to make a video about something specific, send an email to me and I'll make a video for you. Michael says, thank you, Jason. Goodbye, everyone. All right. So it is time to go. Really appreciate you all. Thank you so much for your support. And yeah, please reach out if there's anything you need, if there's any support you need, if you have any suggestions of some content that may be helpful for you. I'm still getting workshop ideas, so you can send that to me. The next one I'm thinking about is the Platform Sutra, but I will be doing the koan workshop on December 30th, so you can join that. All of the recordings of my workshops that I've done, the Patreon community has access to that. So I always open up my workshops to everyone around the world. It's free, don't have to pay. The recordings, however, are in the Patreon community. There's a log of them and also access to the podcast. So if you're interested in that, check out the Patreon. And thank you everyone for your support, your practice. Have a clear day.